Check it out. Here we go. Bum Shadows here with the very special Black Friday edition of the live stream. Wanted to come on here a little early because I find myself a little conflicted. There's a lot of dealy poos out there. There's a lot of sales out there. Depending on your collection, you might be pretty exhausted. Me, even myself in the game, trying to make some decisions here. The first though was Zombie put out the Road Warriors, and the price is $99.99. But then you add and depending on your state, like sales tax, we're talking like 110 to 115 for a 2-pack. And as much as I like how it looks, I have to, for now, pass until I find, something a little more in the affordable range. It's just too much. I mean, especially, like, no offense. We already got these guys, baby. And people can argue, the shoulder pattern or whatever. But, like, come on. These are classic Casperas. I appreciate Zombie with the Road Warriors coming out. Don't appreciate the price, not gonna lie. Too much for ya boy to spend. These guys, especially while these guys exist, so they're gonna hang out here. With that being said, there are a lot of deals though, depending on your collection. I was looking actually, and I don't collect LJNs. However, I was looking at the Big Rubber Guys site, and they got quite a pretty damn good sale going on. If I was in on that collection, I'd be copping a lot of stuff, let me tell you. I think they got % off. Like, I was even tempted to pick up that Macho King one, because I think when you broke it down, it was like $42. So, BRG, Big Rubber Guys Collect Major, I'd go over there and check that out. If you're in that, like, style, that LGN style, and you've been maybe waiting on a few things, go over there. And speaking of which, also, for those that know, Latuni also has a expired. It's not expired. It's still alive. Inspired rather. LGN inspired line, and he's got some sales over there. He had a really nice Macho Man that was only like $30. So I go check him out, Latuni. Check him out. I don't collect those personally just because of budget. They're sweet figures, believe me. I've been thinking about it, but I just can't do it. Too many retros already out there. Hey, good morning. Top of the morning to you, BBA. BBA in the house. Yeah, I was just talking about Black Friday daily poos. One side I want to really highlight is J&J Figures. Right now, if you go over, without a code, you got 15% off. Now, I only need a code, 10% off. So, without a code, you get 15% off. They got a lot of things there. They get a KWK brand blowout. I love KWK, actually. And I love the fact that whatever's whatever, but this dude came out, and I believe his name's Sean, and he said that he wanted to make them the most affordable retros. Now, did things change since then? Yeah, a little bit, but they're still very affordable. So I appreciate his efforts. I like his stylization of figures, or I'll just say the company, because I'm sure it's more than one person. So KWK right there, like, mad respect. Hey, what's up? At Long, what's up? Good to see you. I was just talking about Black Friday deals. I was talking about a site, J&J Figures. They got a lot of, like, for me, like, a lot of good retros. They got some P's. They got Zombie. They got, who was I just talking about? Oh, yeah, KWK. And I still need to get, and I'm going to, the TRT Harley Race. I already pre-ordered the non-bloody. I'm waiting on the irregular edition. I love Harley Race. I mean, geez. One of the tough guys of the, and oh, here he is, baby, right on cue. Harley Race. Now, we got this one from Mattel, and it's sweet. I mean, it's also King Harley Race, Love him. Always a tough man. Always the tough customer, and just had the demeanor about him. However, by this point, it was when he already like pointed the gun at Hulk Hogan, and Hogan had to pull up his tights when he didn't wipe his bum, and we heard that story. So that's sort of this era. The one that TRT portrays is more a older school Harley, and the bloody ones are sick because you've seen them in a lot of bloody wars. I don't mind the bloody. I almost wish though, and this is just me, that the standard version have the same design as the bloody version, just because I fig fed. So like you could have blue tights Harley Race. He's in there. Oh my goodness! Look at the battle. Look what's going on, and he gets busted open. Now I can put that busted open one right in place. So love the bloody editions, and maybe I'm boring, but I want them in the same outfit, bloody and non-bloody. Hey, that's what I'm saying. Let me see here. Mattel Harley is way better. It is, yeah, the Mattel Harley is like, no, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, this is worth this. Oh, actually, oh, it's sold out. I'm sorry. See if they put it back up. But if you go to Mattel Creations, they had it for a really low price. But I did just realize I saw it out. However, if you missed any of the other retro packs, some of them are as like, oh, sorry, Hockey Poo. Some of them are like $24, I want to say. So if you missed out on like series like Odin, Luger, and Doink and all them, or I was tempted to get the Bear, Undertaker, Lawler, and Vader just to have extra versions of them. And that's really cheap on there. I mean, they got a few other deals. Put some of the, but anyway, yes, this Harley is very, very sick. Destiny Guadano, Sister Shadows in the house. What's up? Let me see your collection, Louisville R41. Believe me, if I had things like even organized, my life and my live streams would be a lot better. And I appreciate the ask, but more or less, I don't want to move the camera, but more or less, let me just put a handful. I can go like this to the side of the table. And look. So they're all around me, man. All the retros. They're all just lying around me. I want to fill up the bathtub with retros and just take a picture in it, and maybe that could be a publicity photo, maybe. And I'm just like in a tub with all retro figures, because that's more or less what I'm doing right now, besides the naked and the water. So that's what it's about. So I would if I could, but I can't, so I won't. And it's not a diss, it's a great question, and I should be able to provide that, but I can't, because I'm a slob. Like the live, guys. Show some love to Bum. Oh, I appreciate it. Destiny, Sister Shadows up in there, saying all the good stuff. BBA Bone Breaking Action. I like non better in real life, but as a figure, love the crown. Keep better and overall better figure. Yeah, and I mean, I'll show it again. Sorry, LD, we know Road Warriors being out, and they do look cool, but I'm gonna try to wait it out and get them cheaper. Now, this Harley that we're talking about, it was out of a 4-pack, and I can show as much, and Warrior was it, and they got the little cartoony faces, they say, and I personally know it's cartoony, but I love it. So I'm just accepting it as it is. Oh, I do have Virgie Poo. And Virgil came in that set. And he's got 2 stacks of dough. But I had to charge him, so he's only got 1 stack. You know what I mean? So he can only roll so much dollars down his arm. But that's Virgie Poo. And that came in that set. And Bobby the Brain, I think I put him somewhere else because I was going to film a scene with him. So he's in the actor's studio right now. I think he's in the backstage just chilling, waiting for me to tape the next scene for him. So yeah, definitely. Just be chill. E6M, yo, hey man, welcome back. Yeah, I was just talking about Black Friday deals. Target has that like 4 pack of those legends. It's like 4 different champions, and I know like Warriors in it, and it's like 50.99 over Target. I guess that's for 4 figures, that's a pretty good deal. I don't do the elites anymore. Just thought I'd mention that because I looked through all the sites. Walmart seems to be running out of deals, but they also get some BRGs up, big rubber guys up there for like $30, certain ones. I know one's Ethan Page. I know might be the least popular one. But there were a few others up there, so there might be a dealy poo. So you gotta check that out. And let me see. Just be chill. Was Christian always better overall wrestler than Edge? I swear you asked this last night. But okay. Let me see. I say no. I say no. I love Christian. I love his ring work, his character, and everything. He would crack me up a lot of the times. But if I'm to say like overall success, I mean I think it's pretty obvious edges out Christian. I love them as a team. And nothing against Christian. It just happened. His partner was Edge, and Edge just kind of took off like the mid 2000s, especially the partnership with Lita. I mean, he was a great heel. Like I loved him as a heel. I know, like supposedly he's like a natural face. That's BS. I think he was a great heel. As is Christian too. I mean, him a face is kind of silly. Christian's actually a better heel. I'll say that much. But Edge is just more popular and can get away with like heelish tactics just because of his persona. So I think he had just more charisma than Christian, although Christian, Captain Charisma. It's a tough argument, actually, now that I think about it, but I'm going to say still Edge. Just because, if I could talk, man, the success, rather, as they pronounce it in the English language. A better heel? I think naturally Christian was like a better heel from my vantage point, and it's probably not a lot of people, unless, and I love you if you do, but unless you're insanely into wrestling like myself, and if you're just a reg fan, which is fine, you'll always say Edge. But I know enough, and maybe way too much, where my brain is filled with all this stuff, that yeah, Christian was just a natural heel, and when he did heelish things, they were like very heelish. And I don't even like AEW, and I'm sorry if you like it, but I don't. But the clips that I saw of like Christian being mean about like people losing their father and stuff was very entertaining. And he was very like cruel to it. So I think he's a more natural heel. I think Edge wanted to be a face and could, but he's also better as a heel. Like him as a face gets a little like tiresome. Him as a heel, I loved him and Lita. That's primetime Edge for me. Him and Lita, especially after that Matt Hardy thing where they like in real life cheated on. So I thought that was fire. I love that Edge and Lita and Matt Hardy deal. Although WWE effed it up, it didn't make Matt look anything strong. They just made him look stupid. But that's another conversation, I guess. 2000s Edge is still one of the most punchable wrestlers of all time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he really, like, got the heat. Whether it was, like, Vicky Guerrero, but I like that period, too. That's what introduced, excuse me, the Major Brothers. And then when they were called Kurt Hawkins, obviously, and Zack Ryder, that's what introduced them into that family and the Edgeheads and everything. And then there was like Chavo Guerrero was involved. It was like the family or something. I liked that on SmackDown. I liked that. I thought that was cool. It was a cool little stable. And don't think it really lasted long. I think when I most remember Edge, though, like again, to reiterate, him and Lita just were a perfect team, and especially after the real life stuff. Make sure to sub if you guys haven't already, you bums. Thank you, Destiny. I'm trying to think what else I got kind of. No, I love talking wrestling. It's cool. What was I going to say? Oh, if you go to the KWK site, they also have deals. Like, I don't know who's watching this. Depending on your, like, area of residence, obviously, you'll get a better deal somewhere else than maybe us folks in the US. So, I know that if you go to Epic, like .uk or something, they'll have the international sales, but they now put up a USA section. So if you missed any of the like the Cheller releases before they became Epic, which get a lot of flack, but I don't think they're really that bad. And I'm like looking around to see. I thought, oh baby. Okay, so this is an example of Cella before they turned to Epic, being based in the UK. Haystacks Calhoun is like a huge deal. As his Big Daddy, I get that figure. I even got Haystacks in Brown. I just like the idea of him. He even came back as Loch Ness in the WCW, and holy crap, he lands in a on Nitro on Scotty Riggs, and I swear his leg should have been broken. So word up to Scotty Riggs for absorbing that. Like, dude literally fell on his knees. And somehow, like, Scotty Riggs did not have broken knees. Like, this is a huge dude. And especially the his thing. But I like the cow print. You know what I mean? Probably where The Rock got it. You can get this figure on the US section, I think for $23. And you can get both versions for $30. And because it's the USA distributor, it's not that astronomical shipping that you get from Epic Toys UK, because they're shipping from the UK. The shipping's very expensive, but now they got a USA section. This figure is cool. I mean, it's very dated as, like, 70s, 80s. I know he came back late 90s as the Loch Ness of the Dungeon of Doom. Dungeon of Doom is maybe my favorite faction of all time. So we love Loch Ness. We love if he could stand up. Haystacks go, and I will say his stand. Oh, there we go. Is Chad Gable better than Harley Race without career accomplishments and status levels? Ugh. That was just be chill. I'll be positive. Chad Gable is awesome. He's a great in-ring technician. He's even not like a bad character interview. He reminds me a lot of Kurt Angle, which I love. Kurt Angle's one of my favorites. Like, if you want to talk like in-ring matches, pretty much I always say if you watch one of my favorite matches is like Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio, like on a random SmackDown, and it was like so epic. Rey Mysterio's another one. They just put on good matches. That's how it just goes. Chad Gable, I put in that department. I know there's the whole size thing, but who gives a crap? I mean, that dude. However, Harley Race is Harley Race. For the newer fans, I know you may not know about him. He's just maybe some old fart from back in the day that you don't care about. And maybe your style of wrestling that you're fan. If you're younger, I imagine it's the more fast-paced, spot style where it's just very like quick, move, go for go. With that being said, Harley Race was like a character beyond a character, because you could put, all right, Chad Gable's awesome. Don't get me wrong. But Harley Race could walk into a place and people would hide. You know what I mean? Like, this guy was an old school tough guy. Like, he was like one of those people where even generations surpassed. There was a generation that Harley Race was in, and these dudes were just tough. And there's no other way to explain it. They were just badasses. And like, I've heard stories like Vader, you might know, he in a handlock and put him to his knees by squeezing his knuckles. Like, this guy's no joke. Like, even Andre the Giant was afraid of this guy. So, wrestler character, Harley Race, 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000 over Chad Gable. In-ring performer, all right, maybe a little argument. But it has nothing to do with his accomplishments or whatever else. It's just a tough man, and he was believable. And when he got a ring with anybody, you could believe that this guy could kick their ass. Old school, kind of Neanderthal, if you will, but this guy, bum. You know what I mean? Chad Gable, a lot more complicated, has a lot more maneuvers, and is definitely more athletic. But for my money, I'd watch Harley Race over Chad Gable every single time, twice on Sunday. Harley Race are legend, not even close to what Gable is in terms of the money they generated, for sure. I thought that was Jerry Lawler for a second. I get it, yeah. No, I mean, that was a fair thing. I think, like, in a way, WWE at the time was trying to stick it to the king because, what's he going to do? Beat up Harley Race? He's not going to do it. Not really anyone could. So, maybe you could put Brock Lesnar back there versus, and maybe that would be a good match. But, like, Harley Race was just, he's just renowned as, like, a tough SOB. Oh, that's what I meant. Ring? Well, it depends. Like, if you're just talking how they perform the moves, overall athleticism, variation of style, yeah, Chad Gable, sure. But if you go old school and you go back wrestling, and not that Harley Race wasn't athletic, obviously was. Strong, believable. Was he doing like multiple German suplexes like Blanca in Street Fighter? No. But he also, I don't know how to, the character or the aura, if that's the word, of Harley Race was just enough to be like, I believe this guy. You know what I mean? And with Chad Gable, as much as he kicks ass, I wouldn't believe him against Brock. I'd believe Harley Race against Brock. There we go. That's the way to put it. Brock's a good measuring stick because he's obviously a human beast. I wouldn't believe Chad Gable against Brock. I would believe Harley Race against Brock. That's a good way to put it. So I just think brothers were built different then. I'm an old man. I appreciate the 80s and 90s style. However, I will not take nothing away from Gable. And even when Jason Jordan was competing in there with the Alpha team or whatever, he was really good. I guess he got hurt. But they're a great team. But it's got to be Harley Race every time. Just who is more... All right. Ernie Johnson, 677. Who is more classic one-timers than Jerry Lawler? Probably, all right. Jerry Lawler is awesome. And I would put, if you watch any of Bobby the Brain Heenan, he's right there. He's right there. And you know what? As much as I love Bobby Heenan, as far as one-liners, I think they were 1A, 1B. I think pretty much tied for that. But I do, if you haven't seen much of Bobby Heenan, and it's fine. It was a long time ago, but like you do see him in his day. That guy was so quick and so funny with some of the stuff that he did. And Jerry Lawler, same thing. I mean, he could comment out of nothing. And as far as I know from the things I've seen, like Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler never like really rehearsed. They just kind of took it as they saw it, you know. And it was probably that way with Bobby Heenan, but I just remember. So I would say hell yeah. And I'd say also, if you haven't, if you do know, you know of him, but check out Bobby Heenan. You think I want to take your girl? Question mark. She's had more hands on her than the doorknob I used to walk in this room. Jerry the King Lawler Saturday. Oh, is that Smoky Mountain Wrestling? Either way, that's a good one. No, Jerry Lawler. I mean, no, don't get me wrong. Like he's definitely there. Like he's definitely one of my favorites. Even my Fig Fed, he's one of the announcers. I love him so much. So yeah, I think I'm just saying I want to put Bobby Heenan neck and neck. I want to put them at the same because in different ways, different styles of humor, but still so effective, so quick, and so witty that it's just yeah, it was great. All right, we're nearing the half hour mark. Just I was just coming on here, kind of just doing a Black Friday thing. I'll talk about whatever. Real quick, I was saying J&J figures, you can get 15% off. They get a wide variety of figures over there. If you go to Walmart, I saw some deals on Big Rubber Guys. If you go to Collect Major, obviously deals on Big Rubber Guys to get 30% off. Target, the only remarkable deal I really saw as far as wrestling was that 4-pack with like, forgive me, I forget who else is in it. Maybe it's Warrior and Roman Reigns, or I don't know. It's like a 4-pack of like champions, and it's like $50, which is better than 80. Walmart, like I said, if you're not in the States, you get Epic Toys, get a nice deal. And if you're in the States, they get one too. Rock and Roll Collectibles, another great site. They get some things going on. What else? Trying to name them quick. J&J, I said that. KWK on their site themselves, but also available on J&J. Some good deals with KWK right now if you've been on the fence on that. Zombie put up Road Warriors. He's got a lot of other figures for sale as well for cheap. If you've missed on them, go for it. Oh, they got Raven for 38. I recommend that one. That Raven figure by Zombie is like top notch. If you missed out on that one, go grab it. What else? You know what? I think that's about it. So this is a great time. Perfect timing. Just chill. And by good performer, I mean in-ring skill, not toughness or fear. I mean how good were you in the mat? Were you as skillful or best or as skillful as Brett or perfect? Good call with Brett or perfect. Definitely two of the best. I put Shawn Michaels up there. I put Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio. Controversial, but yes, Chris Benoit. As a performer, don't condone what he did. Eddie Guerrero is very good. Like a lot of the wrestlers that I say, like I could watch any match of and it's good. And you said Brett and Perfect. Those are two of them. I think Shawn. I think Angle. I think Mysterio. Benoit's a performer, and who was the other one? Eddie Guerrero. As far as in-ring technicians, could Chad Gable put on a good match with them? Of course. Could he be somewhere ranked in that list? You know what? I think so. I have watched enough of them to be like, this got to be pushed harder. I said to myself, like, they should make, like, not exact Kurt Angle, but put him kind of at that level, because bro's like strong and he's a great performer and he's not bad on the mic at all. So I think he should be afforded more opportunities. Mr. Krabs, arg. There we go. That's the note we want to leave on. So, just was talking about some Black Friday stuff. Go get your deals. Go get what you gotta get. Try to save as much money as you can. Like I said, I hope a great Thanksgiving. I hope you're having a good day today. And that's about it. So, as I always say, keep bombing.